There are some friendships you do not understand when you are young. You only know they feel easy. You do not count them as blessings. You do not protect them like treasure. You just run beside them after school, laugh at small things, and believe such days will always return. When I was 10, my best friend was Eli. Eli was bigger than most boys in our class. Not tall, just round in a gentle way, like someone who had never refused a second serving of dinner. He was kind, polite, and strangely serious about rules. If his mother said he had to reach home before 6, then 6 was not a time. It was a law of nature. That morning, I found him standing outside our classroom with both hands holding his school bag straps. His cheeks were already pink, even though school had barely started.
Kai, did you finish the homework?
I looked at him. There were many questions in life that needed courage. That was one of them.
I know. That is not an answer. It is. No, I asked if you finished. You said you know. I know I finished.
Eli narrowed his eyes at me, trying to look like a detective.
You are lying badly. I am not. My mother says unfinished homework will grow bigger if you ignore it. That makes no sense.
It does. Last week, I ignored one worksheet. The next day, there were 3.
That is because teacher gave more.
Exactly. It multiplied.
I laughed. I could not help it. That was Eli. He made fear sound silly. Back then, I did not know how rare that was. In class, the teacher asked us to take out our homework. Chairs moved, bags opened, papers appeared. Mine did not. I searched my bag slowly, hoping time would become kind. It did not. The teacher walked closer. Kai, where is your worksheet? I felt the whole room turn toward me, even though maybe only 2 people were looking. My face became warm.
I know where it is.
The teacher waited. Then take it out. My fingers touched old papers, a ruler, a broken pencil, and one sweet wrapper I had forgotten about. No worksheet. Eli looked at me from the next table. His eyes were wide, not mocking me, only worried. I hated that. Sometimes pity feels heavier than laughter. Kai, did you do it? The honest answer was simple. No. But simple answers can feel impossible when you are 10.
I know.
You know what?
I know. I should have done it.
Some students laughed softly, not loud enough to be punished, just loud enough to enter my chest and stay there. The teacher told me to submit it the next day. I nodded. I looked calm. That was my talent. I could look like I understood things while something inside me quietly panicked. At recess, Eli did not scold me. That was one of the best things about him. He did not make people feel smaller after they had already shrunk inside. Instead, he opened his lunchbox and pushed one fishball toward me.
Eat this.
Why?
Because sadness needs protein. Who told you that? No one. I discovered it.
I ate it. It was cold, but somehow it helped. Eli smiled proudly as if he had saved my future. After eating, we went to the playground behind the school field. It was not really a playground, just 2 old swings, a low climbing frame, and a slide that became too hot under the afternoon sun. But to us, it was a kingdom.
If this breaks, tell my mother I died bravely. You are only swinging.
Still?
I pushed him lightly. He moved forward, then back, barely higher than before.
More?
I pushed harder. He laughed, and for a while, school became small. Homework became small. The teacher's voice became small. Even the laughter from class became small. That was what Eli could do. He could not solve my problems. But when he was beside me, my problems stopped looking like giants. After school, Eli came to my block with me. We were supposed to finish homework first, before playing video games. That was Eli's rule, not mine. If it were my rule, the game would come first, homework would come later, and regret would come last. But Eli believed in order.
First homework, then game.
I looked at the worksheet. The numbers stared back at me like enemies. Eli began writing. I pretended to think. This was another talent I had. Pretending to think looked very similar to thinking, but required less understanding. After a while, Eli stopped writing.
Kai. What? You have been holding your pencil upside down.
I looked at my hand. He was right.
I know.
Eli put down his pencil. There was no laughter in his face this time.
You say that a lot. Say what?
I know.
I know. See? It is just a phrase.
No, you say it when you don't know.
That sentence should not have hurt. It came from Eli, after all. Eli, who believed mothers could smell homework. Eli, who thought fish balls were medicine for sadness. But somehow, because it came from him, it went deeper.
I know this one. Then do it. I am thinking.
You were holding the pencil upside down.
That helps me think differently.
That is nonsense.
We both laughed. The moment passed, but not completely. Some sentences do not disappear after laughter. They wait. After homework, or what looked close enough to homework, we played video games. Eli was terrible at fighting games. He pressed every button with great sincerity and no strategy.
This button is tired. Buttons don't get tired. You don't know that.
For once, I did not say, "I know." I only laughed. The room filled with the small sounds of childhood. Game music, plastic buttons clicking, Eli shouting, "Wait, wait, wait," to a screen that did not care. I remember that light, not because it was special, because it was ordinary. And sometimes, ordinary happiness becomes precious only after life moves too far away from it. At 5:45, Eli suddenly froze. His whole body became alert.
What? I need to go.
It's still early.
No, it is danger time.
Danger time?
Between 5:45 and 6, every minute is dangerous.
He packed his bag with the speed of a soldier escaping war. One pencil fell out, then an eraser, then a snack wrapper. I picked them up.
You are too scared of your mother.
I am not scared. I am respectful.
That sounds the same.
It is different. Respect means you run before scolding happens.
I laughed again. At the lift lobby, Eli pressed the button 3 times.
That does not make it faster.
I know.
I stared at him. He stared back. Then both of us laughed. The lift came. Before stepping in, Eli turned around.
Kai!
What?
He hesitated. For Eli, hesitation was rare. Usually his thoughts ran out of his mouth before asking permission, but this time he looked careful.
Do you really know the homework?
I wanted to say yes. The word was already waiting. I know. So easy, so useful, so safe. But Eli was looking at me with those honest eyes. Not judging, not laughing, just asking. For a moment, I almost told the truth. I almost said, no. I almost said, I don't understand it. I almost said, I'm scared that everyone else is moving ahead and I'm only pretending. But the lift door was open. The moment was too small and my fear was too fast.
Of course.
Eli looked at me for one more second. Then he nodded.
Okay, but if you don't know, you can ask me.
I know.
He stepped into the lift. The doors began to close.
See, you did it again!
The doors closed before I could answer. I stood there alone, smiling, but the smile slowly became something else. That night, I sat at the table with my worksheet. The house was quiet. My pencil moved slowly. One question, then another. The numbers still looked like enemies. I tried to remember what the teacher had said. I tried to remember what Eli had written. I tried to make my hand move confidently, as if confidence could create the answer. It could not.
I know.
But the room did not believe me. Neither did I. Years later, I would understand something. Children do not always lie because they are bad. Sometimes they lie because the truth feels too dangerous for their small hearts. I know was not confidence. It was a hiding place. It was the little wall I built whenever I feared someone might see that I was lost. And Eli was the first person who noticed the wall. Not because he was clever in the usual way, not because he had perfect answers, but because he was simple enough to see what adults often missed. He saw that my smile was sometimes a cover. He saw that my confidence was sometimes borrowed. He saw that when I said, I know, I was often asking someone not to look too closely. There is a quiet truth here. The greatest enemy of learning is fear. This is true of language, of art, of every subject, and every area of study. When one is afraid of being laughed at, of being embarrassed, of being looked down upon by others for one's mistakes, shortcomings, or limitations, progress becomes very difficult. The important thing is to be brave. Back then, I was not brave yet. I had a good friend. I had laughter. I had afternoons that felt endless. But I did not yet have the courage to say 3 simple words. I don't know. If this story reminds you of a time when you hid your fear behind a smile, stay with Kai's journey. Because sometimes growing up does not begin when we find the answer. Sometimes it begins when we finally stop pretending we already have one. Embrace the journey. And that was how I remember Eli, the boy who always went home before 6, the boy who believed sadness needed protein, the boy who pressed lift buttons too many times, and the first person who ever looked at my I know. and heard the fear beneath it.